I deem it my pleasure to welcome into our midst all our honorable speakers for the day. May I now request Mr. A.V. Joseph, Correspondent, SBIOA Model Matriculation Higher Secondary School, to lead the guest speakers onto the stage. May I request Mr. A.V. Joseph to lead our first speaker for the day, Professor Mark.R.Nowacki. Professor Mark.R.Nowacki is Assistant Professor, Singapore Management University. We welcome you, sir. May I request Jyotis Matthew of CBSE Ernakulam to present a sapling and memento as a token of our love and appreciation to our guest speaker and honor him. Thank you, Jyotis. Professor Mark.R.Nowacki is Assistant Professor of Philosophy at Singaporean Management University and the author with Tan Yu Guan, John Williams, and Wong Liu Yong of Analytical Skills, Constructing and Evaluating Arguments, among other publications. He has also taught philosophy at George Washington University and Harvard University. He is the founder of Logic Mills program, which measures and trains the skills that shape a global citizen in the 21st century through game-based learning, personal assessment, tools, and innovative experimental learning methods. It sets itself apart from other enrichment coaching programs through its unique curriculum and methodology designed to inspire lifelong learning and nurture holistic growth. They equip students with skills beyond what is taught in a classroom and develop individuals into confident communicators who are able to think on their feet. We welcome you, sir.
And that is that I tend to be very practical and want to come up with in-class interventions. So hold on, and I will give you something by the end of this time together you can use in your classrooms. Okay, I want to begin by thanking SBIOA for their kind invitation, the marvelous hosts that have taken such good care of an incredibly distinguished panel of speakers. What I would like to share with you today is, first of all, I noticed it was traditional to talk about who you are. That's me. As you can see, the photo is obviously photoshopped. Now, there is something funny about that biography. I actually have been teaching at university level for quite some time. I began teaching marine biology when I was 12 to graduate students. My first book I wrote when I was 16 in computer database design and theory. When I finally went to university as a consumer, I started as a finance major and then was bitten by the bug of philosophy. So what happened there is I spent the rest of my time as a student working all the way through the PhD, focusing upon, of all things, medieval philosophy of the Mediterranean and Western tradition. So if you want somebody to read Latin or Greek for you, I'm that guy. So in any case, and I guess I played a fair amount of chess as well. That's the instrument of your affliction today. In Singapore, we have this saying, we basically have this great word, it's called rojak. Rojak is, I guess you could think it's a type of salad where you just have many ingredients and you mix them together. My life looks like rojak. And there's one thread that holds it all together. What holds it all together is the fact that I love education. I love learning. I love people who learn. I love helping others learn. It's all about education, and for the last 10, 12 years, I've been focusing pretty much exclusively on educational theory and practice. Now, what I want to talk about here is something that I believe that you're quite familiar with. Singapore, which is where I've lived for 20 years, has a very good reputation in education, right? And we talk about Singapore, we talk about Finland. How are they related? Well, Finland keeps sending people to Singapore, and Singapore keeps sending people to Finland, and they each wish they were the other. But they're completely different, and I think that the Singapore case has a lot of direct relevance for India, for our experience here. Because you see, there's a challenge that Singapore encountered. And just to foreshadow this, when I heard my fellow educators talking about, oh, how are we going to find room in the curriculum? Where in the syllabus can I put this in? I wept inside, for I know this discourse. I heard this discourse 15 years ago in Singapore. I've lived through this in Singapore. I've lived through this in Malaysia, and I'm living through it in Indonesia right now. I know this story. I know this story. You are not alone. And what's the challenge? The challenge is this. What is being taught to the students in your classroom is damaging them. Sort of. Here is the challenge, and I want to just put it in a way that I think we can all understand. Ask yourself, at the very, very broad level, what is it that we are teaching our students? Wherever you go in the world, what are we teaching them? Well, the first thing that we teach them, of course, would be facts. Facts. There are many examples of facts. I would say, for instance, I know that 2 + 2 = 4. I know that Lee Hsien Loong is the Prime Minister of Singapore. I know that men with beards are all incredibly handsome. Simple facts. It's great when nobody denies that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Look, simple facts. And we signal that we're talking about facts by the words, I know that, right? And whatever follows know that is a fact. The other thing that we're teaching our students, of course, would be skills. Examples of skills. You could say, I know how to speak a language. You can be a skilled speaker of a language. I know how to ride a bicycle. Something that we can do, and we can do skillfully. I know how to swim. Or I know how to make friends. I know how to solve problems. And now I beg you, just to prove that you've had enough caffeine in your tea and coffee to understand what I'm saying, for those of you who are teaching students right now, I ask you to please, if you think that most of what you do is know that, is facts, Could you please put up your hand? Come on, hands up. Wow. Okay. Don't put up your hand if you're confused. Okay, I'm sorry, forgive me. I saw somebody do this yesterday. I went to do the walk out there. I particularly like people in the back of the room because they think they can hide from the speaker. Now, unfortunately, they're capturing my back view, which is not so pleasant as my front view. But I just wanted to share, look, what do you spend most of your day doing as a teacher? What are you teaching? I don't know about you, but I know which one of those I went through when I was a student. What do we have our emphasis on? Facts or skills? Come on. Facts. I hear facts over here. Okay. Facts or skills? Facts. Absolutely. Another experienced person. Facts. Yes. Facts. 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 I think that in India's case, look, I've seen the civil service exam. Okay? The civil service exam is a rich cornucopia of random facts, including cricket performance, which never ceases to amaze me. So, if we're learning facts, there's something very, very disturbing about what we're going to be doing together here today. Because if you think about it, facts are not as valuable as they used to be. They're not as valuable as they used to be. What do I mean? Well, can you think of any, perhaps, technology which is really good at facts? Have we heard of the computer? Have we heard of Wikipedia? Wikipedia, it knows everything. And if Wikipedia doesn't know it, Mr. Google does. Right? I don't need Google because my wife knows everything. But other than that, you know, look, here's the challenge. I strongly believe that all of the professions that we tell our students to do, please go be a lawyer, please be an accountant, please go study medicine. Those professions are endangered. We are turning our students into bad versions of Wikipedia. If we are focusing on teaching our students facts, the computers beat us at it. Wikipedia is much better at being Wikipedia than any human being. If the emphasis is on facts, we are turning our students into bad versions of Wikipedia, and we are setting them up so that in their future lives, their whole career is one of trying to compete against Wikipedia. They will lose. We've lost already. We've lost. Human beings create machines because they're better at that task than the rest of us. Yes, that's why we have machines. When human beings compete against machines, humans lose. We've lost this fight already. I predict that at my university, in the next 15 years, they are probably going to close down the law school and the School of Accountancy, just to start. I predict they're going to close it. Why? Because, sure, there'll always be a job for high-end accountant, financial controller. How many financial controllers can you have in a company? Maybe one. Everything else has been turned into bookkeeping. Bookkeeping, with the way computers are going, can be done by monkeys. We want our students to have better jobs than monkeys. When we look at law, IBM Watson, it's that artificial intelligence, is today already better at giving basic legal advice than a new lawyer. IBM Watson, they estimate, gets it correct over 70% of the time. New lawyers, mid to high 60%. Of course, there will always be room for the specialized, maybe intellectual property lawyer, the high-end theorist, but day-to-day law, creative contract, rental agreements, simple business contracts, we've already lost. These are dead-end careers. Medicine, too, on the diagnostic side. I'm sorry, but we are training our students to fail. But we don't have to. We don't have to. Because there's one thing that computers simply cannot do. Computers have no skills. When's the last time you saw a skilled computer? They just sit there. What human beings have are skills. Skills. And so, because we have skills, we can do what computers cannot. What the future needs are not more versions of Wikipedia with all of its facts. What we need instead are skillful human beings who know what questions to ask of Wikipedia, who can skillfully interpret the answers, skillfully relate among those facts, skillfully extrapolate to new questions and new facts, and then skillfully upload the answers and new facts back onto Wikipedia. We need those. We need those. And Singapore and business has long understood this. This is not news. It's only news to people who write the syllabus. All right, so what do? What's Singapore's response? It's not like they created it. It's just that I give them credit for implementing it. They realized, and this is my model here, basically the permanent secretary of Singapore came and asked me a question. She said, so what can we do? How do we fix this? I said, well, one thing that we can do is we can focus on skills and notice that what constitutes good teaching and learning for skills is different from what we do for facts. Facts are best taught in a lecture. This is why we do this. The lecture format is a brilliant, efficient way to share facts. It's great. But what do we lose? Skills. How do we learn a skill? Can you lecture somebody into a skill? As we say in Singapore, Nola, cannot. How? You don't need me to tell you, you know this. If we as parents wish to teach our children how to ride a bicycle, what must they do? Come on, what do? You ride a bicycle. If we wish to learn a language, what do? Well, we speak it. We speak it, however haltingly, however poorly at first, it doesn't matter. We speak it. To learn to swim, we get in the water. Skills are learned through experience. But not just any old experience. Teaching swimming is not going to be the same as teaching the content of, different species in biology and so on. How many different types of mammal are there? Well, there are 3. There's your placentals, your marsupials, and there's going to be your monotremes. That's just facts. But swimming, we can't lecture somebody into swimming. You cannot learn swimming by looking at a YouTube video. You can't get it through lecture. You have to get in the water. But not just any old splashing around, but splashing around that has a point and a purpose. And you know the fancy name for point and purpose with experience? That's just practice. Practice is how we learn skills. So, to summarize, what are skills? Skills are simply know-how, like I know how to swim, through practice, elevated to excellence in their execution. What do I mean? Well, in Singapore, we're very proud of this one person. His name is Joseph Schooling. He won Singapore's first ever Olympic gold medal in swimming, and he beat Michael Phelps to do it. So we're very proud of him. And if I ask you, does Joseph Schooling know how to swim? The answer would be yes. Does he really know how to swim? Yeah. When you really know how, you're skilled. So if you want to see wherever you can teach skills, ask yourself how you speak about it. Do I say I know how, or I know that? If the answer is know how, you're talking about something that can lead to a skill. Very simple. So, what's experiential learning? We have to craft these experiences. I'm just going to go through this very quickly. Basically, you take some circumstance in real life, you abstract something within it. So for instance, you go to the market, you're buying and selling your vegetables. What do? You abstract that and you get a model. So for instance, from buying and selling vegetables, you can say this is like an economic transaction where supply and demand are happening. You then take that model, and if you're a teacher, here's what we need to do. We add fun, because we want to engage our students. What do you get if you have a model and you add fun? Do you know what you get? You get a game. So for instance, have you ever heard of this game called Monopoly? You go around and around and around in a circle, Monopoly? Well, Monopoly, which I guess if you're a purist, you can only play by yourself. But anyways, Monopoly is something which can teach you a lot about economics. Yeah, and it's a game. But as teachers, we don't stop with a game. It's not just play, play, play. We actually have a learning point, a direction, a reason for using the game. And what do we get then if we add a learning point to our game? We get an experiential learning lesson. So we play Monopoly and we learn a little bit about buying and selling and why passive income is desirable for many people and so on. And then what do? We adapt that lesson and we put it back into life. We say, where in life can I use this idea? And it goes around and around and around. Question is, what skills do we teach? We know now that if we go down the route of facts, we're in trouble. We know that if we go the route of skills, it's a human response with human potential and a human-faced answer. Skills are good, but which skills? And here's the answer that Singapore and many other countries have already said is the answer. 21st century skills. 21st century skills. And the purpose of 21st century skills in a nutshell is that these are the skills identified by both ministries of education and industry globally as being most relevant for an individual's personal, professional, career success, as well as their own personal development and flourishing. These are fundamental human skills. And it's a global standard. Now, many people have different ways of looking at this. There are famous educational fora, taking a look at it. People have different skills maps. Don't worry if you can't read it. This is just to test your eyesight. There's also called soft skills, which is ironic because the soft skills are the hardest to teach. The hard skills are easy. Some people try and put it into one letter of the alphabet, which I think is particularly ambitious. But here's the one that interested me. All this is basically aligned at the national educational agenda level. Different ministries of education globally use this. So it's found, for instance, not just in Singapore, but in the US, it's in Australia, it's adopted by Malaysia, it's being adopted in Europe, it's all over the place. But this was interesting for me. I don't know if you're familiar with Forbes magazine. Forbes magazine is where they always publish who's the richest person in the world every year. Okay. Forbes is very interesting because they went out and they interviewed a large number of CEOs and people, C-suite executives, so CEO, CFO, CXO basically, and what are they going to do? They interviewed them and they asked, what traits are most important to you and you look for when you promote people in your organization? What do you wish they had? And this is their list. Now, I don't know if you can read it from there, but here are the things on there. It would be things like communication skills, analytical or research skills, creative problem solving, being a team player, right? Being dependable, planning and organizing, interpersonal skills. You know what's not on there? Not a single case of factual knowledge. Not even IT is there. There's no knowledge of accountancy there. There's no basic knowledge of the law there. There's no fact there. Not one. And that is what the people who are going to give jobs to our students are looking for. What are we doing? We're not preparing them for success. How do we fix it? Well, here's my quick answer. Here's what we can think of as 21st century skills. And for instance, over the next day and so, I can go more into detail here. I have the pleasure of addressing a group of principals this afternoon, and then tomorrow I'm doing a couple of workshops with lots of game playing to teachers who are interested. But anyways, what are 21st century skills? In a nutshell, they break down into three categories, three baskets. First, situational intelligence, SQ, situational intelligence. That would be the skills we need to make good decisions in a changing, evolving environment. You go to work, stuff happens, you need to think of a good response. Simple. It's what you do every day. Every teacher who tries to figure out, how do I help this child? That is extreme example of situational intelligence. You've got it. Collaborative intelligence is the second one. CQ, collaborative intelligence. Those are the skills we need in order to work effectively with the person sitting next to us. Can we talk to them? Do we have emotional intelligence? And so on. And then finally, riding on top of these, at the integrative layer across the top, we have the skills and traits of effective global citizenship. What does it take to be an effective global citizen? And by the way, that requires virtues, things like openness. It also requires trustworthiness, reliability. It doesn't matter where you go in the world. If you say you're going to do something, if you don't do it, people stop working with you. Right? Reliability, trustworthiness is a human global virtue. Without it, no communication across cultural boundaries happens. Same thing for openness. What form does that openness take? Well, what we do is drawing upon the idea of situational intelligence. We are willing to draw upon our own talents and the talents of others, and now drawing upon CQ, sometimes leading, sometimes following, in order to get things done. When we are comfortable doing that, we are global citizens. It's that straightforward. And by the way, that SQ, CQ, GQ, this is it mapped against those Forbes skills, in case you're wondering. It maps them right out. And now a little gift for you. You can get a sense of what is required for 21st century skills, and you can get a sense of yourself. Because I've arranged with the organizers of the conference for you to be able to, for free, take an online, perfectly private psychometric assessment online. You will receive an email from a company called Logic Mills. It's not spam. Okay? Usually this costs $19 saying it's free just for this conference and only this conference participants. Okay? What's it look like? It's the world's only online game-based assessment for 21st century skills. You can test situational intelligence and I think maybe global intelligence as well. So it's actually a game. You can go play the game. Your results will be emailed to just you, not to anybody else. Nobody knows your score but you. And you can see what traits are built into your situational intelligence, where you are, and you can say, oh, this is good, I want to do more of that, or here's someplace I can work on. It's not an IQ test, it's skills. If you don't like a score, go practice, your score goes up. Okay? It's just for you. And you'll get this nice little, I'm sorry, the display's a little funny. Basically, you'll get emailed to you these lovely half slides though. You'll get these email reports sent to you, okay? And this is for your own personal consumption, and it talks about things like even your preferred environments. This assessment is used by many different multinational corporations. It's also used by primary and secondary and universities in Singapore and in Southeast Asia. Okay? So it's a global standard, both with industry and with schooling. And you can track your development. One word to the wise, it doesn't matter if you type in your exact name, it doesn't matter if you make a fake address or anything like that, but when you enter the game, please, 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 I don't need to know, but you should enter your age honestly, because it's age normed. If you said that you are 8 years old and you take the test, odds are you'll do very, very well. Okay, so please, it's age normed. So just put the year, not the exact birthday, is fine, okay? All right, so that's that gift to you. Now it's time to do something a bit different. Okay, now I'm going to just talk to you a little bit and give you a quick idea. Okay, forget the slides. Okay, so here's what I would like to do. I want to give you a little specimen of the method, and I want to give you a quick thing you can do with your own students. Okay, quick thing you can do with your own students. One of the things that we need to do as educators is help our students be creative, right? Help them be creative. Now, I do not know why we make such a mystery of creativity. You're born, you're human, you're creative. It's that simple. Okay? It's that simple. So, how do we help people become creative? Well, creativity, I'm not going to define it, does have at least 3 features. It involves quantity, not quality. Quantity, not quality. Here's what I mean. You want to generate a lot of ideas very quickly. You do not worry if they work or not. And you don't worry if they are going to be effective or not. That's not important. You do that later. You don't criticize. That's first. Second, the heart of creativity is association. Association, linking new ideas together. Creativity is usually not somebody coming up with a completely new idea nobody has heard of before. 99.99% of all statistics are made up. 99.9% of all creativity is going to be association. Example, we have the idea of the social. We have the idea of media. You associate those ideas that were formerly apart. What you get? Social media. You get Facebook. Right? That's association. And furthermore, when you associate, you're associating to a point or a purpose. The most creative people I know do not come out and say, I shall create today and hug a tree. That's not what they do. Okay? That's not so much creativity as just a touch of divine madness. Yeah? Rather, the most creative people I know say, there's a challenge, I'm going to solve it, and not worry about whether the methods and approaches were already there. I'm just going to fix the problem. So they do association with a target in mind. So, how can we actually strengthen our creativity? It's so simple. We play a game. And for the parents out there, allow me to share this game, which I do with my children. I have 4. Right? When you're waiting for the bus, when you're waiting for in Singapore for the MRT, the subway, when you're waiting for food at the restaurant, what do? You play the association game. And here's how you play it. Ready? Simple. I would like to spend just a couple minutes for you trying this. I suggest that you think about having like a small group of people, like look at the people behind you. So maybe form 4-person groups, okay? Say hi to the person, they're nice to people, you don't know them. And what you do is this. The first person is going to have to say a word, typically a concrete noun. And then the first person says a word, like elephant. Then the next person repeats what they just heard. Elephant. And then you simply say whatever in your mind elephant reminds you of. Not right, not wrong. And just, if somebody asks you, in principle, you can say, here's how I got there. Let me give you an example. I'm going to be stepping around like I'm playing different people. Ready? Elephant. Elephant, trunk. Trunk, luggage. Luggage, plane. Plane, woodworking. Woodworking, chair. Chair, meeting. Or, elephant. Elephant, pink. Pink, rose. Rose, syrup. Syrup, bandung. Bandung, electric. Electric, boogaloo. Boogaloo, break-in. Break-in, glass. Glass, eye. It's up to you. There's no right, no wrong. And I tell you, one thing I'll be doing with the principals this afternoon, and also if you ask me during the teacher sessions, I will tell you simple ways for you to measure your creativity. You can measure it. It's not a mystery. We make such a mystery of these things. You can measure it, and you can track for yourself how you get better and better at it. How do you get better and better at it? Practice, practice, practice. I know how to be creative. It's a skill. It's a skill. So we can learn it and get better at it, and you get better at it by practicing the association game. So now I invite you, just for maybe 5 minutes, 5 minutes, for 5 minutes, I would like you to try this with somebody in your group. So just if I could kindly request, for instance, these lovely ladies right here. It could be 4 or 5 people here. I feel there aren't enough men here, honestly. I mean, it's nice because it's all roses and no thorns, but so I guess what we have to do is we have to invite these lovely ladies right here to, and all of you, okay, do exactly what they're going to do, and don't be embarrassed, it's fine. Okay? Just, you have to be a little silly to be really creative. I ask you to please go around in a circle doing that game. Just go around in a circle. And so I will give you the word to start with, and what I invite you to do is the first person says the word, looks at the next person, that person repeats it and says their next bit, and just continue. Ready? Who starts? Quickly think of your groups, turn around, you don't need to look at me, look at the people behind you, find somebody really cute. You should be turning around, ladies. There's some good-looking guys back here. Anyways, yeah, find something, just turn around, form a group of 4. So 2 just turn around, and yep, like you handsome guys over here, and wow, beautiful ladies over here, and then turn around and become part of the group, and then try this. Try it out. Join the people and listen. And here's the word we can start with. Ready? Begin with the word school. School. What does school make you think of? Okay? And begin. And as a poet will tell you, it's about having a very good ideas. So what I want you to do now, may I please have your attention for a second, please, folks? Okay, pause. Here's an idea. I'm going to say people, and when you need, and then could you please say yes in the same way? So people be people. Okay. By the way, if you use experiential learning techniques, this is exactly what's going to happen. Your students will become engaged, and you need to get their attention back. So you need some mechanism like that in your class. I'd now like to take any sort of questions people have, and thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. Okay. So, thank you. Are there any questions? Here's the deep dark secret. Our children learn the way we do. And when we want to learn, same as our children, we learn most effectively through play. Last thing I should mention, here is the Singapore experience. It's very simple. Singapore had the same problem you do. It's still there. In Singapore, the teachers worry, do I cover my syllabus or not? It's a real problem. But here's the thing. When the teachers started putting experiential learning lessons into their classes, they ended up saving time. Because the students became more skillful, the students started to ask questions when they did not understand. So they learned what they were confused about right away. The students became better learners, and this actually made life easier for the teachers. The teacher had to spend less effort to cover the syllabus, and the teachers, by actually putting in, over the course of a year, anywhere from 20 to 40 hours, they put in about 30, they actually ended up saving time with their students. They actually made it more time for them to review the syllabus and cover it. So it's a great payoff. I've seen the effects on nationwide exams. Something you might not know. You've heard of that PISA exam? Singapore's results on PISA, they came in #1 in the world by the problem-solving part of the exam, 2012. At that time, only 4% of Singapore students were being trained by this method, by Logic Knowles' method. Interestingly, when Singapore took the PISA, all of the students happened to have Logic Knowles training. That's an interesting statistical anomaly. And Singapore came in #1 in the world. Okay? This made the difference. It's a great foundation, just like you're giving your students. But if we as teachers want to value add, we save time and help our students be more effective by putting in these experiential learning lessons. The students end up getting better and you save your time. It makes your life as a teacher easier. So be willing to try it. Thank you very much. And if there's no questions, have